So I have my Garmin database opened, a semantic model opened, and I've downloaded and I've got Tabular Editor opened. I open up my local model using this. Once I've opened my local model, you get all of the information about your model here. One of the key things you might want to do is you might want to create a measure. So this is my fact table. I right click on it, create measure, and then I can go in and I can create a new measure. And you can see I've got the expression editor loaded here. And within here, the telesense starts working, count rows, and it gives me information about the DAX function. And as I start typing, because it knows it's a table, it only shows me a table. Once I've created that new measure, we have this properties pane where I can change the name and call it whatever I want. Once I've created one measure, I can duplicate, or I can copy and I can paste. So I have three. I then end up with three different measures. Sometimes it can be a bit difficult to find, so I might want to actually filter and just show me all of the measures. So you can do this for anything. So press OK, and then again I've got lots of measures. So it then shows me all of the measures called test. Once I've got all of these measures called test, because they're all highlighted, then I can choose how I want to format them or various other things that I might want to do to apply. And you can see I'm not sending it back to the model until I'm ready. And then once I press save, that will save that back to the model. The other useful thing within Tabular Editor are macros, which is C# script, which basically is repeats a series of code. So if I click on macros, you can see I've got one called time intelligence, and then that creates all of the time intelligence based on that one particular measure. So if I decide then I want this to be in a folder, I can then create a display folder and pop it in a new folder which is called test, and then I can save it back to my model. So I've got, I don't know, 12 or so, and when I look back at my model, you can see in summarized activities, let's type test in here, test, you can see I've got my folder with all of my measures in there. In the same way that I can do that, I can also, if I want, I can delete, and it would delete them all, and then it gets rid of them. To then get rid of test, I would then click on test, because it's searching for test, and I might want to see all of my models, so I'll pop them here, and then you can see all of my model again. What's quite useful is this little button up here, which will collapse all of your models so that you can very easily see what's happening. So let's go back to some measures. Let me just show you a couple more things. So once I've got my measures here, and let's have a look at this one. So I might then want to think, right, add that to my pivot grid. So this is quite useful for when you're validating your data. So I can then add to the pivot grid, or I can pull it along, and I can pull it along here so that you can see. Now, another useful thing is you can actually get the best fit. So it'll run through and it'll look at the best fit for all of your measures so that you can see it here. And I find it quite useful to actually then, so what I might want to have a look at is my test data. So I might want to have a look at my test data, called summarize. So again, this is where I would close it, then open it. So I've then got my summarized activities, and I can preview my data. So that will then show me my preview, from which I can filter, and I can basically see at the bottom the number of rows. So if I'm trying to add something up or check or write my measures, I can see that details are there. The other thing that I would strongly recommend is you can see down here, it says I've got 728. This is my test one, so it's to show this. But there is an option here where you can actually add and manage best practice rules, and you can pull it in from a website. This is the website. And then what it does within the best practice analyzer is it looks at your model, and it gives you some, some suggestions. And if it's like this one, formatting, don't summarize, if it's something that it can do for you, you just press the screwdriver and it'll fix it. And so you'll see your measures go down. So formatting, these are really easy ones, so you can just get it to fix. If it's something like relationship columns should be the same data type, then what you can do is it shows you what it is, and then you can go and check. So where it can't make the decision, it goes through and it shows you where to go to look at it.